Greetings, it's Iain from R.E.O here. Welcome to Marathon Wednesday, and it's not raining for once. And today we're going to look at American rock band Reo Speedwagon. Now, Reo Speedwagon were formed in 1967, and they were they're from Champaign, Illinois. They were a band that cultivated from a sort of heavy rock band to more of a commercial AOR band. They've sold over 10 million copies of their albums and had 4 US top 40 hits. They've had some top 10 hits here in the UK. And they have released 16 albums. Lots of changes in personnel, but Neil Doherty is one of the mainstays, and Kevin Cronin, of course. So we're going to have a look at their 16 albums. So coming in at number 16, this is from 2009, and it is their most current album, and it's called Not So Silent Night, Christmas with Reo Speedwagon. So we've got Kevin Cronin on acoustic guitar and vocals, Dave Amato on lead guitars, Neil Doherty on keyboards, Bruce Hall on the bass, Brian Hitt on the drums. That's quite a thing. Additional performers, we've got Dave Perlman on pedal steel guitar, Mark Goldenberg acoustic. We've got backing vocals from Carol Perry, Darlene Perry, Laurie Perry, and Sharon Perry, and Holly Cronin does backing vocals as well. So basically it's an album of Christmas songs. We've got The First Noel, Winter Wonderland, Silent Night, Deck the Halls, Little Drummer Boy, The White Snow of Winter, Angels We Heard on High, Children Go Where I Send Thee, I'll Be Home for Christmas, God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, Happy Christmas, War Is Over, Blue Christmas, and Joy to the World. I do struggle with this. I don't want to hear Christmas carols done AOR style. Okay, I'll Be Home for Christmas isn't too bad, and Happy Christmas, War Is Over isn't too bad, or Blue Christmas. But the carols, no, it just doesn't sound right. So I'm going to give this an R.E.O ranking of 3 out of 10. Okay, then coming in at number 15, we have the 12th album from 1987, and it's called Life as We Know It, released in 1987. So it's Kevin Cronin. We've got Gary Richrath on guitar now, Neil Doherty on pianos and acoustic guitar, Bruce Hall, and we've got the one and only Mr. Alan Grazia on drums. First track is called New Way to Love. It's that typical AOR sound, smooth guitars, horrible drums, 80s production. No. This Ain't Love, one of the nicest tracks on here. It's more of acoustic guitar, and you really can't smooth out acoustic guitar. Although the drums are a little bit poppy, but it's one of the better tracks on here. In My Dreams comes next. Very 80s wishy-washy sort of sound. Not for me. One Too Many Girlfriends isn't too bad. One of the better songs on here. I quite like that one. Variety Tonight is the worst song. It's overproduced everywhere. Doesn't do nothing for me. Screams and Whispers comes next. Another of them cheesy, horrible 80s keyboard sounds. It doesn't sound right. It seemed to appear on everything from the 80s. It's just very overproduced. Can't Get a Hold of My Heart. The drums have been sort of muffled out. It doesn't sound right. Then we have Over the Edge, which is the best track on here. The riffs are really good. I do feel that this one, they were allowed to do what they want, and it's got a good guitar solo on it. Accidents Can Happen. Nah, it's all 80s sounding. Tired of Getting Nowhere. More of the horrible, cheesy 80s keyboards again, and that was the last track. Yeah, it's an 80s album that just hasn't aged well. But there are some good tracks on here. So I'm going to give this one an R.E.O ranking of 5 out of 10. Okay then, coming in at number 14, we have the 13th album from 1990. And it's called The Earth, a Small Man and His Dog and a Chicken. Kevin Cronin on lead vocals and acoustic guitar, Dave Amato on the lead, Neil on the keyboards, Bruce on the bass, Brian Hitt is on the drums on this. Love Is a Rock, great guitar on this one from Dave, the guitarist. Really starts well and then it just folds out into this real rather rimpish rock track. The Heart Survives. Once again, the start of it's great, that guitar, and then it just comes some very mediocre soft rock. Live Up. Going back to the good old days, some really nice riffs in this, great vocals. Get rid of the cheesy chorus line, and it's still pretty good anyway. All Heaven Broke Loose. Maybe 1990, but they've still got the 80s sound here. It's not very good. Loving the Future. I do struggle with this track. It's just so limp. Halfway, very plastic AOR. It's got no soul. Love to Hate. This is my favourite track on here because it's got some really good guitar riffs. You Won't See Me. One of the better tracks. Great vocals from Mr. Cronin. Although it's spoiled by the cheesy keyboard run. Can't Lie to My Heart, typical MTV ballad. Then we got Liar, a good track, good guitar solo from Dave. I really like this, second favourite track on the album. Go for Broke, another really good track on here, one of my favourites. A mixed bag here. The last few tracks are starting to get rid of that 80s sound. It's got some good little rockers on here, so I shall give this an R.E.O ranking of 6 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 13, we got the 15th album from 2007, and it's called Find Your Own Way Home. Kevin Cronin, Dave Amato, Neil Doherty, Bruce Hall as ever, Brian Hitt. We've got additional people on here. We've got Joe Vanilli on acoustic piano and Hammond organ and strings. Smiling in the End is the first track on this one. A really good track. Some nice guitar work from Dave and a good vocal from Kevin, and Neil's keyboards are really good as well. Find Your Own Way Home, the title track. Nice guitar on this. Love the drumming from Brian Hitt. Another very good vocal from Kevin. I Need to Fall. Good old fashioned R.E.O. Speedwagon track here. I like that. Dangerous Combination, another solid track, some great keyboards on this. From Neil, excellent little track. Lost Love on the Road of Love. Love the Hammond organ on here. This is supplied by Joe Vanilli. Really rich and enhances the track. Another Lifetime. It's okay, pleasant enough. Runaway Baby, a nice funky track, some great guitar work here from Dave. I do like that one. Everything You Feel, good track, harmony singing is wonderful. If you've got some good singers, you're always going to get some really nice harmonies. Born to Love You, not a lover of this, probably the weakest track on here. It just lacks something. Let My Love Find You, a really nice ballad. I think Reo Speedwagon did do some great ballads, and this is a pretty decent one. It's a great vocal from Kevin. I was really impressed with this album. It's one of the later albums. It's got some very good tracks on it, so I'm going to give this one an R.E.O ranking of 6.3. Okay, then coming in at number 12, we've got the 14th album from 1996, and it's called Building the Bridge. Kevin's on here, Neil's on here, Dave Amato on the guitars, Bruce Hall on the bass, and Brian Hitt on the drums. First track is called Can't Stop Rocking. It's a good little rocker, this is. It's a great vocal from Kevin. I love that track. I Still Love. Got a bit of a country and feel to this one. Some great guitar work from Dave on this. Really good track. Building the Bridge. It's an okay track. I wouldn't say it's my favourite on here, but it's still a good track to listen to. When I Get Home, nice guitar riffs, solid track. Then I Met You, a little bit wishy-washy. The records, the lyrics are a little bit as well. Look the Other Way. Great guitar riffs. They're strong. They've certainly lost that 80s sound. They've got rid of that heavy production. Just do it simple and make a good song. After Tonight, nice song. Love Kevin's vocal delivery on that. Brilliant. Hey, Wait a Minute. Good track. Got a little funky sound to it as well, and I do like that one. One True Man. It really sounds like that early 1980s before it went all heavy production. A little bit like Keep On Loving You, this is. It's a good track. She's Gonna Make Me Love. My favourite track on here. It's a good fashioned adult orientated rocker, guitar riffs, excellent vocals from Kevin, and it's got my favourite solo on the album. Ballad of Illinois, a nice bluesy sort of number, some great guitar work. A good track to end the album. A very good album, in fact. Definitely lost its 80s sound now. No smoothness, a little bit more defined. So I'm going to give this an R.E.O. ranking of 6.5. Okay, I need a drink. Oh, it's better. Right, coming in at number 11. We go to 1982 now. The 10th album, Good Trouble. Kevin, Gary, Rich, Rath on guitars. Neil on the keyboards. Bruce on the bass. Alan on the drums. Extra people on here. We've got Steve Foreman on chimes. Tom Kelly on backing vocals. And Richard Page on backing vocals. First track, Keep the Fire Burning. This isn't too bad. It's got that sort of distinctive mid-80s sound. I don't mind this song. Sweet Time, cheesy. Nah, I don't like that one. Girl with a Heart of Gold. Some lovely piano here from Neil. This is a typical Ario Speedwagon track of that time. This is where I sort of came in with their... got to know who they were, and I do like that track. Then we have Every Now and Then. Some great riffs from Gary on the guitar on this. Another fantastic vocal from Kevin. I'll Follow You. Not a big fan of this one. It's the occasional fan song, this is. If you mention Ario Speedwagon, people that have got like the greatest hits albums will always say this is a good track. Then we get the key. I love the keyboard stuff here from Neil. It's absolutely brilliant. Back in My Heart Again. Pretty solid song. Great guitar solo from Gary. Let's Bebop. One of the best tracks on the album. It's just got a groovy little riff. I like that. Stillness of the Night, my favourite track on here. It's catchy, the guitar is good, the solo's good, it's a great vocal from Kevin, an all-round good track. And the last track is the title track, Good Trouble. Excellent riff on here, excellent track. It's a real strong album. It's hard to come up when you've had a very successful album, the previous one, and I think they do a decent job on this. And I'll give this one an R.E.O. ranking of 6.6. Okay, coming in at number 10 is the 9th album from 1980, and it is the one that really made them a bit more popular over here, and it's High Infidelity. Kevin Cronin, Gary Rich Rath, Neil Doherty, Bruce and Alan. First track on here is a little track called Don't Let Him Go. Love the bass line from Bruce on this. Alan's drumming is brilliant. Then we have their biggest hit in this country, Keep On Loving You. I do like this song. It's got an incredible guitar solo, but it's one of the overplayed tracks. and if I never hear it again, I won't get upset, but I do like it, don't get me wrong. My favourite track, though, is the next one, Follow My Heart. I love the start of it, some great guitars from Gary. The vocal from Kevin is brilliant. It's a really good track. In Your Letter, one of the wishy-washy songs on here, not for me. Then we have the other big hits, and another great song. It's called Take It On The Run. And I actually prefer this to Keep On Loving You. It's a really strong track. Tough Guys, some good little rocker with some nice harmonies in it. And Kevin's vocal. Out of Season. Interesting key changes in this. Some more great guitars. Shaking It Loose, really strong riffs in this, a good track. Someone Tonight, a really good rocker. I like that one. And I Wish You Were Here. Not a great lover of this track, never have been. Now this is the first Reo Speedwagon album I heard, and it's quite special to me. I remember getting this out at the library and putting it on cassette. I did have a copy of this on CD. If I see it again on album, I'll probably go and buy it. It's got some good tracks on it, so I'm going to give this an R.E.O. ranking of 7 out of 10. Okay, we're now going back into the early days, and this is after discovering that I sort of went back in the catalogue, and this is where I really found the albums I really liked. So coming in at number 9 is the 4th album from 1974, and it's called Lost in a Dream. We've got Mike Murphy on vocals now. We've got Gary, Rich, Rath and Neil Doherty. We've got Greg Philbin on bass and Alan Gratzer on drums. First track, it's called Give Me a Ride, Roller Coaster. It's okay, very middle of the road, 70s sounding. It's not very rocky, but it's what would we call soft rock. It's very middle of the road. It's not a bad track. Throw the Chains Away. Good little rocker this is. I love Neil's piano work on this. It's great. Sky Blues, great guitar solo from Gary on this. One of the best ones on the album. Then we have You Can Fly. Interesting track. I do like that electric piano at the start. Reminds me of so many Supertramp tracks that started that way. Very, very good. Lost in a Dream. Great bass line from Greg. Drive the song. It's a little groovy. Alan's drumming on this is really good as well. Then my favourite track from here is called Down by the Dam. It's interesting. It's got a great guitar solo from Gary on it. It just holds the song together. If it weren't for that guitar solo, it wouldn't be my favourite. But once that guitar solo comes, it just takes it by the horns and does a great job. Do Your Best. I love this sort of great raw riffs. The pianos and coming through. It's a fine vocal from Mike. Excellent track. Wild as the Western Wind. Gary's. This is a track that Gary sings, and when he does sing, it's really good. He's a great singer, and it's a great track. My second favourite track on the album. They're on the Road. Solid track. Great guitar riffs. They're so crisp. I'm Feeling Good. Another good track. I love the guitar on here. The rhythm sounds good. It's a good solo. A solid album. Not really a bad track on here. Very consistent band. As I've said, they are a very consistent band. So I'm going to give this one an R.E.O. ranking of 7.4. Okay, then coming in at number 8, got the 6th album from 76, and it's just called R.E.O. And it marked the return of Kevin Cronin after a 4-year absence of the band. So Kevin's on vocals, Gary is on guitar, Neil on the keyboards, Greg on the bass, and Alan on the drums. First track, I love this track, Keep Pushing. One of my favourite tracks by the band. Solid keyboards from Neil. Great guitar work from Gary. Any Kind of Love. Another great track. I love the rhythm guitar on this, which is done by Kevin on this track. And then Gary puts a great solo on it. Only a Summer Love comes next. Great track. Very middle of the road, but it's so nice. That chunky rhythm, a lot little bits of keyboard from Neil, really makes it good. I believe Our Time Is Gonna Come. That twin guitar sound on it sounds brilliant. Great track. Breakaway, another of my favourite tracks on here. It's got that sort of American rock sound to it, and it's a great track. Then we have an instrumental called Flying Turkey Trot. It's a great instrumental. These are very good musicians, and it seems like they're having a bit of fun. Neil's keyboards are very good. Then we have Tonight. Greg's bass line is brilliant. Alan's drums come in as well on this one, are really good. Then we have a track called Lightning. Nice keyboards about this. It's a very good track. Really lifts the track, them keyboards. Another solid performance from Ario Speedwagon, sorry. Not a bad track on this one, and I'm going to give it an R.T.O ranking of 7.5. Okay then, coming in at number 7, we have the debut album from 1971, and it is just called Reo Speedwagon. And it's the only album to feature Terry Luttrell on vocals. And Terry Luttrell went on, of course, to join Starcastle. So Terry Luttrell on the lead vocals, Gary Richrath on guitar, Neil Doherty keyboards, Greg Philbian on the bass, Alan Greatser on the drums. I've got Andre Borley on organ and the Freedom Soul Singers on backing vocals on one track. First track is a great track called Gypsy Woman's Passion. Some meaty riffs here from Gary, absolutely brilliant. My favourite track on here is 157 Riverside Avenue. I think this is probably one of the best tracks that Gary played guitar on. It's got, the riffs are good. You've got this wonderful keyboard here from Andre Borley and Neil. Oh, marvellous stuff. The Anti-Establishment Man. There's quite a lot going on here. It's a bit higgledy-piggledy. It's probably the weakest track on here. Lay Me Down. Great bass line here from Greg. Love that track. Sophisticated Lady, a good little rocker. Love the cowbell on it. Like tracks with a bit of cowbell. 5 Men Were Killed Today. Gentle tracks, some lovely keyboards on here, some really nice harmonies. Prison Women, a good rocker. Very status quo in places. Dead at Last. Some fine guitar work from Gary, but it does go on a little bit. It's 10 minutes long. A very good debut album. I don't think Terry's is a good singer, Terry, but his voice didn't suit what the band wanted to do. I mean, when he went into Starcastle, great, but the music on here is great. So I'm going to give this an R.T.O ranking of 7.6. Okay, coming in at number 6, the 11th album from 1984. The Wheels Are Turning. It is Kevin, Gary on guitars, Neil on the keyboards, Bruce on the bass, Alan on the drums, with Steve Foreman on percussion as extras, Tommy Thunderberg on backing vocals, Tom Kelly and Richard Page do the business as well, and Bill Cumo on orchestra stuff on Can't Fight This Feeling. First track on here is I Do Wanna Know, a belter. Great little rock track on here. I love this. One of the short classic ballads from Reo Speedwagon. It's got some nice riffs, a great vocal on that one as well. Through the Winter, cheesy keyboards at the start, but the bass line on it from Bruce is brilliant. Really adds to that track. Then we have Rock and Roll Star. Love the guitar from Gary on this. Great raunchy vocal from Kevin as well. Live Every Moment. Good track. Good rocker. Some nice guitar work. Then we have the ballad Can't Fight This Feeling. This is this is one of them songs I've never been a big fan of. I know everyone else likes it. I don't. I think it's because it gets overplayed, just like Keep On Loving You. If there's a compilation album and it's an Reo Speedwagon track, it's either Can't Fight This Feeling or Keep On Loving You. It was a big hit though. Gotta Feel More. Now this is more like it. Good rocker track with a great guitar from Gary. Break This Spell, classic sounding as well. Some great keyboard work from Neil. And the title track, Wheels Are Turning, a good track, meaty guitar, great track to end the album. I would say this is the last of the real strong R.E.O. Speedwagon albums until about 1996. That heavy production went after this album. It started to creep in on this album, but by the next album it had totally gone. So I'm going to give this an R.E.O. ranking of 7.7. Okay, coming up in number 5, it's the second album from 1972, and it's called R.E.O. II. And it was the first album that Kevin Cronin came in on. So it's Kevin, Gary, Neil, Greg and Alan. We've got Boots Randolph on saxophone, Kelly Bowen on backing vocals, and Tommy Lee Brady on the first track. And that is Let Me Ride. First song that we heard Kevin singing, and it's a great opener. Some great drumming from Alan on this one. My favourite track on this one is called How the Story Grows. It starts off with this real driving riff with Gary, and then in comes Kevin with a fantastic vocal. Then we have a cover, and we're going to have a little Chuck Berry number called Little Queenie. I like this. It's got more of a honky-tonk guitar sound on it. It's really good. Be Kind, Can Hurt Someone Sometimes. Love this track. I love the bass line on here from Greg. It's very gentle in place, and the percussion is superb on this. Music Man, another solid band track. Great vocal from Kevin on this one. Like You Do. The highlight of this is Neil's keyboard work on the organ. Absolutely brilliant. Then we have Flash Tan Queen. It's one of them tracks that opens up with a great little guitar solo, gets you in, and then goes into this great riff. It just sort of grabs your attention. A bit of cowbell thrown in there. Then we have Golden Country. You get some nice Hammond organ on this. The drumming from Alan on this is probably some of his best. It's a brilliant guitar solo on it. Second favourite track on the album. Just another very, very solid album from the band. Some great tracks on this one. So I'm going to give this one an R.E.O. ranking of 8 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 4, we've got the 7th album from 1978. It's my favourite, one of my favourite titles of an album ever. You can't tune a piano, but you can't. You can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish. It's Kevin, Gary, Neil, Bruce and Alan. Additional people on here is Lon Price on saxophone, and the backing vocals are done by Angelique Tolsclair, Denise McCall, Denny Henson, Tom Kelly. First track on this one is called Roll With The Changes. 2 or 3 things on this I like. Neil's great piano work and the vocal from Kevin. Absolutely brilliant little track. Time for Me to Fly. It's got a sort of a shuffle to it. There's some nice acoustic guitars thrown into this one as well. Then we have Running Blind, a nice little rocker here. Some great riffs. Good little track that one is. Blazing Your Own Trail Again. I like Kevin's vocals on this. Probably one of the best songs he ever sang in my books. Great track. Sing to Me, second favourite track on here. Again, it's just dominated by some great Kevin vocals, and you got this lovely guitar distortion on this one. Lucky for You, I call them one of them real meaty rock tracks. Great guitar with a bit of power. You can't go wrong with that track. Do You Know Where Your Woman Is Tonight? my favourite track on the album. Not my favourite, sorry. It's a bit weak, this one. Then we have a track called The Unidentified Flying Tuna Trot. It's a great little instrumental. Some great guitar stuff here from Gary. Say You Love Me or Say Goodnight. My favourite track on here, it's just old-fashioned boogie rock. Again, very similar to some of the stuff Status Quo was doing at the time. Another great album. Some really good rockers on this one. And I think it's some of Gary's best guitar work on this album. And I'm going to give this an R.E.O. ranking of 8.2. Okay, then coming in at number 3, we reach the top 3. And the third album, Ridin the Storm. The session started with Kevin, but he left the band before the album was finished. And the title track would become a hit for the band on their live album after Kevin returned. So Mike Murphy's doing some lead vocals on here. Gary's on here, Neil's on here, Greg's on here, and Alan. Jean Estes is on percussion, Julia Garcia on percussion. Joe Walsh plays slide guitar on Whiskey Night, Open Up and Start a New Life. Backing vocals, Gloria Jones, Carolyn Willis and Omar Drake. Ridin the Storm, love the guitar on this. I love Neil's piano on it. It's a great track to open the album with. Whiskey Night, wow, the guitar solo and the slide guitar from Joe Walsh is brilliant. Great keyboards on this from Neil. Then we have Oh Woman. Move on, thank you. Just old-fashioned rock and roll, heavy riffs, great piano, great vocal. I like that track. Find My Fortune. We're taking it a little down. It's a little funky thing with some great keyboard runs. Then we have a Stephen Still song called Open Up. Good cover, and once again Joe Walsh with some great slide guitar on it. Moving. This is a song that Kevin wrote before he left, and it's a funky song. I like that. My favourite song on here is a thing called Son of a Poor Man. It's just a 12-bar boogie shuffle, and I love it. Start a New Life, got a country feel to it. The guitar work is good. It's everywhere. Raw riffs, some great drumming from Alan on this one. Without Expression, nice gentle guitars, nice gentle keyboards as well. It's the last track. Very good album, some strong songs on here. So I'm going to give this one an R.E.O. ranking of 8.5. Okay, number 2. It comes from 1979. It's the 8th album, 9 Lives. Kevin, Gary, Neil, Bruce Hawley's on the bass on this one. Alan on the drums. We've got backing vocals from Bill Champion and Tom Kelly. Percussion from Steve Foreman. And the first track is Heavy on Your Love. Wow. Great opening track. The real big riffs here from Gary. Great vocal from Kevin. On fire. Drop It, An Old Disguise. Another meaty rocker. Some great piano playing here from Neil. Wonderful track. Only the Strong Survive. It's okay, this one. It's got some really good riffs that does lift it. Easy Money. It's a bit of a dodgy stang. And what's going on here? But once the guitars come in and that twin guitar sound pops in, it's an absolute belter. Then we have a great version of rock and roll music from Chuck Berry. Can't go wrong with that one. Tank Me is the next track. Love Kevin's vocal on here. One of the best on the album. Some nice meaty riffs to go with it. I Need You Tonight. This happens to be my favourite track on here. It's an alternative sound. I love the acoustic in this. It really adds to it. Then we have Meet Me on Another Mountain. Another good track. It's got a great solo on it. And it's got a lovely keyboard piece from Neil. And the last track, Back on the Road Again. Nice little rocker to end the album. It's got a lovely keyboard run from Neil and a great vocal. This is one of the real good rockers from this band. It's got some great shuffly boogie tracks on this, so I'm going to give this an R.E.O. ranking of 8.6. But my number one album, and the first time I heard it, I thought, wow, what a great sound this is. And it's their fifth album from 1975, and it's the last one to feature Mike Murphy, and it's called This Time We Mean It. Mike Murphy, Gary, Neil, Greg and Alan. First track on is called Reeling. What some drumming here from Alan. Mike's one of Mike's best vocals on here. It's absolutely terrific. Good track to open the album. Headed for a Fall. Good track. What I like about this is the bass line from Greg. It sort of keeps coming in and out of the track. River of Life. Very Eagles this is. There's nothing wrong with this. I like that track. It's a bit of country rock, really. Out of Control, which is actually written by Glenn Frey and Don Henley from Desperado, Out of Control. And they do a fantastic version of it. It just sounds like the Eagles as well. Great track. You Better Realise, some nice guitar work from Gary on this. Another sterling vocal from Mike. Then we have You Better Realise. No, we don't. We have The Gambler, which is my one of my favourite songs by Reo Speedwagon. I just love the guitar riff. It's going to be in my top 10, this one. It's absolutely brilliant. Candelara, another great little rocker written by Gary. Love this track. He wrote some really good rock tracks. Lies, a lovely little song. Reminds me of sort of Cheap Trick. That sort of beat to it. Really good track. Dance, the bass line from Greg in it is fantastic. Drives the song along. Dreamweaver, not to be mistaken by Gary Wright's song Dreamweaver. This is a little bit more better. It's got a great opening riff from Gary. Alan's drumming is good. It's a great track to end the album. This is an excellent album. From top to bottom, good tracks. I think it's a great way for Mike to leave the band, but it's probably one of his best vocals in the band on this album. So I'm going to give this an R.E.O. ranking of 8.8. Okay. There's a little bit of Reo Speedwagon for you. They were just not known for them two great ballads. They made some great records through the years. And go and check them out. Okay, that's all for today. I'm going to go sort this mouth out. It's really sore. So we'll be back tomorrow, and we've got another sophomore drone. And tomorrow we've got two sort of rock bands from the late 90s and 2000. We've got Suede against Ash. And tomorrow we've got a pick and mix, and it's the UK top 10 from the 11th of July 1968, if I've got it right. Yes. And of course tomorrow is live stream. Have a great day, and I'm sure a lot of you will be watching the football tonight. Yes, people will wonder when they'll be watching this in a year's time. Yep. There we are. So have a great day. Bye for now.